Hey, welcome to Alan's Woodworking. I'm Alan, and this is our Woodworking for Beginners video plans. We're going to try something new. We're doing videos of our diagrams, and some of them are videos will actually have videos with it of actual builds along with the diagram. So like and subscribe and share with your friends if you like it, and send us an email on what we can do to improve this. I'm not the greatest talker in the world, as you can see. So let's go ahead and show you what we're going to build today. Today is our gun cabinet right here, and if you notice, it's pretty big. It's like over 4 foot wide. It's a little over 7 foot tall. It could accommodate. I think this in here is like 12 guns. Depending on how you arrange your inside on your spaces. Our space is a little more than what most is, and that is so to accommodate for the nicer guns, to keep them rubbing and scratching up against each other, especially if you got these old military weapons in there that happen to have the long bolts or the straight bolts. So, you know, we'll talk about that more. But down here at the bottom here, you got two bigger cabinets, and that is to accommodate like maybe reloading equipment or your larger accessories, hunting accessories, etc. Then you get your 3 drawers, a large one, medium, and a small one. We used what they call birdcage handles on this one, and we did a ebony top and trim, and I thought it came out quite nice. We put exposed hinges out here, as you can see. You don't have to. You can use enclosed hinges or hidden hinges behind it. That'll be completely up to you. So let's get on with it. Today, let's go ahead and wipe this out. And let's start with our top right here. Okay, the top of the base, okay, is 49 inches, and the width is 21. Now, the reason we did this is this is the space, of course, he had. So this tells us where we need to build on the cabinet itself. Okay, because now we got overhangs that we got to compensate for when we build the base. And this is why we start with our top first, to tell us where to scale down to our base. So, and the reason is because now we got, like say for example, when you're looking at the width, right here, if I can ever get that pinpointed, okay, it's 19 inches wide. Now if you notice, it's 21 inches wide on the top, which is 2-inch difference. And that is because in the front overhang, you got a 3/4 inch face frame and 3/4 inch doors and drawer faces that's going to go on the front too. So whenever you figure your dimensions, if you want to scale this down to fit your space, then you'll have to consider how thick your doors and drawers are going to be. That way your overhang will go over top of that. So anyway, that's how and why we did that. Now this right here, let's go ahead. I know this flashing is kind of getting on my nerves, but the top of it is 23 1/4. So you're going to need 2 pieces here and here are going to be the same. Okay. Now your inside from here. Now I tried this earlier and had a hard time with it. Let's see if I can do it again. Yep, I'm having a hard time with it again. What do you know about that? There we go. Here and here. 18 1/4. Now see, it's a little different. Now the reason is this here is buttoned up to the back. This in here is going to go over the back. Now let me move this back up and see if we can get another point here for the height. Nope. May not let me. Let me see if I can get a different angle here. Nope, ain't gonna let me, I guess. I had it earlier. Try this again. There we go. Ah. I'll tell you what, about crazy, ain't it? Sometimes these little drafting programs is not friendly at all. Well, there we go. Hey, I got that. What do you think about that? Now let's shrink her down. So the inside panels will be 18 1/4 by 22 1/2. Now if we go to our bottom and back, we're looking at 46 1/2. Let's see here, we can get that. So both bottom and back will be 46.5 inches, and then that's because they're going to the inside of this panel and this panel. Okay, and the reason we did that is so when it's assembled, you don't have the edge sticking out on the inside. So the two outside panels are larger than the two inside panels because they actually go outside of the boards, and the inside panels sit inside. So they sit on top of it. So they're going to be a 3/4 inch or whatever your thickness of your material is going to be, less on both sides than what the other ones are. So on the height wise, you're let me see if I can get to the back. Try to find me a spot here that I don't know if that's going to take. Nope, it didn't take. But anyway, so your back right here is going to be the same as the height as this one right here. Okay, so it goes all the way back, all the way down to the ground. So now your pocket screws, we'll go back to the back again. Wrong one. Wrong one. Right here. Now this is your location of your pocket screws, all these little dots here. On the back side, because it is hidden, we place pocket screws back in there. That way you don't see them. And you need at least 4 on each side from here to here, and then 6 to 8 across the bottom, and you also put 6 to 8 across the top. Now the top, even though there's nothing there now, that is to help to hold this actual top part on when you do it. So, and then when you do your pocket screws on here, put them on the inside of this, because your doors and drawers go on the inside. So this will all be covered. You put them here and up here on both panels. On this panel here, however, you need to put a couple across through here, and same way with this in here on the inside. Now when you do this, you'll have an option whether you want to plug them, the holes, after you put your screws in, or you can leave them open, because now once your face frame goes on, you probably won't see that. So that pretty much covers the base right now. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much got it. If I forgot anything, just send me an email. So let's go on to the face frames. Now this is the face frames for the bottom. And if you'll look right here, okay, let's go ahead and take us a measurement from there to there, 23 1/4. Now that you'll notice that is the long part, and that is so the end grain of this one don't show out. That way it's all the way down. Okay, so you can do it either way. Really wouldn't matter on that, but that's the way we chose to do it. And let's see if we can get a shot on this one. And it's 45 inches on the bottom rail, so you'll need top and bottom, but both will need to be the same. So this one up here and this one right here are the same. They're going to be 23 1/4. The top one here and this one right here is going to be 45 inches. Now we can go here. Let's see if we can find us a point. Get there and there. Be 20 inches and 1/4. This one right here and this one right here will be 20 inches and 1/4. Now that's just for the height. That's based on what we're building now. Maybe if yours would be a little different. Just measure your box, and that should kind of help you out with that. Now as far as the width in between here and here and the size here, this is going to be a preference only. But what we've done here is, if I can get this thing to take and get that back up there and start it over again. Well, this is really let me get another view here. Yeah, let's try this one then, see if this will work better. There and there, 13 inches. Both of these are 13, and then whatever left. Now our face frames are 1.5 inches wide. Okay, so that's, you know, you can use a wider face frame if you want, but that's usually pretty decent, especially if you're using pocket screws. You don't want to go much less than that, because it's a little harder to put in the pocket screws when you use anything less than 1.5 inches. 2 inches might be okay. Don't know if I would go much more than that on this. You can, but now your overlay, your cabinets and stuff, see, like this drawer face will actually go halfway over on this one, and the door it mounts to it will also on this way go halfway over here. So I think that's about all we need on that face frame. If we look at it, I think that's got that one. So let's go to the top cabinet now. If you got any questions, like I said, send me an email. Now this is your top cabinet. Now this is going to be variable. Okay, this one's a little taller than most, and you may not need yours that tall, but just to let you know what we got here, it's 59 inches. Okay, now up here and here. Oh, every time I mess that up. Okay, and it's 17 inches deep. So this panel and this panel are the same. They'll be 59 by 17 inches. If you also look, that right through here. Okay, and the back side and the bottom, there's nothing showing, and that is because everything's to the inside. Just like what we did the bottom base, we did that in order to keep from the end grains from showing out on the sides. We use cabinet grade honey or oak, 3/4 oak plywood for this, so it's costs a little more. You can use anything you want as you look around. Regular plywood probably wouldn't work as well for that. It seems to want to warp pretty good. So as we do that, now let's go down here and see what our inside panels would be. Let's expand it out where I can actually get something on it. If I can. Well, let's just see if we can go from that to this one over here. Okay, 42.5. So we got 42.5 there, and your width will be here, and that ain't no way I'm going to get that, I don't think. No. Let's see here. How can I get this? Oh, how about this? We'd go to the top. See if I get the measurement top. Well, we do our measure from the top. It's going to be 17 inches. So your bottom is going to be 3/4 inches less than that, because see, the top actually covers the back of it. Okay. So your bottom will be 3/4 inches less as far as width. So it would be 17. We're talking about 16.25 for that right there. Now your back, however, your back will go in between each of these, inside and bottom. Okay, so if you got 59 inches here, okay, subtract the 1.5 inches, and that's how tall your back has got to be. Now if you look in the back also, your location for pocket screws will be along through here, 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 and here. Now you need this because this really strengthens up the cabinet by using your pocket screws right here. If you have other joinery, your measurements are going to change, but you'll have to adapt that to fit your style of building. Like I said, most of this is for the beginners, but this will definitely help a beginner build something nice that they normally probably couldn't build. But anyway, it's just a basic box. When you're looking at building something like this in a cabinet style, it's basically a box. That's it. And then the rest of it, the face frame and the doors, is what dresses it out. Just like kitchen cabinets, it's just a box, nothing fancy. Okay, so don't get shook up about building it, and don't get shook up if it don't come out just right, because the box gets covered. Okay, so now that's the box part there. It's really no big deal. Now you'll put pocket screws across through here also to go into your sides, and on the underside of the floor you'll do that, so to go into the sides of here, and on the other, well, you can do your underside of your floor, or either one, however you want to do your pocket screws on the back. Okay, so let's go on to the face frames. This is a face frame for the upper. Okay, now I didn't quite put this together yet, but we can if we want. Let's see here. Let's get it down the side. Let's get some measurement on the width and the length. Okay, now it's 59 inches. Let's go over here. Let's try a different one. There we go. Now, it's going to be 59 inches wide. These are 1.5 inches, okay? Except for this top one here, and I think it's 4 inches. Yep, it's 4 inches. Okay, and that is because we have a crown molding that went across here, so we wanted that a little wider to help hold the crown molding. But your uprights are 59 inches, and your cross pieces are 41 inches. So this is going to be 41 inches too. It's just going to be 1.5 inches wide, unless you want to use something thicker. But I don't think I'd go much thicker than that. The inside here, we have, it's actually a two-piece. Let's see if we can get a, yeah, you see it right there, here and here. Well, I can't get points on it, but I used that, that's 3 inches, and then I used a 2-inch piece here. Now the 2-inch piece, we've chamfered the edge and put the same edge on this right here as what the doors would have. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this out and see if I can put that in place for you real quick. Let's see here. That would be, I probably need to go with the y-axis, I think. Nope. Must be X. Yeah, it's the X. So we'll go ahead and put that in place. Yep, too much. So now that's in place. You can sit there and see that. And when you put your pocket screws, of course your pocket screw is going to go from here to here. Okay, and from here to here. And same way for that one. This covers any ingrain coming out the edge, so your rails and stiles come out. I guess you call them rails and stiles too. That way that hides the ingrain from the top and the bottom. Okay, so that's our face frame. So let's get to the doors. Now these are the doors for the upper. The bottom doors and doors and drawers we'll cover in the last. Now we put this right here in, but you don't necessarily need it. It just depends on how much money you want to put out, because plexiglass or glass for full size is a little harder to, or a little more expensive to get. Sometimes you can get a good deal on the shorter pieces. If you can get longer glass, you don't have to use this. If you can't, you can put this piece in. Now on these doors right here, what we got is from here to there. Well, let me see if I can do this. How's that? We just do it in piece, and I can't get one piece on here. Oh shoot, I'm sorry, that was my mistake. I forgot to put it on to measure. Okay, 9.3 inches each door as far as total width. So 9.3 inches, and then we got this point here and that point there, and it's 20 inches tall. Now these are 2 inches wide, and the reason I went with 2 inches wide is because you have to cut a groove or a rabbet in to these, so your glass or your plexiglass can sit down in that. Okay, that way it's still flush with the top. Now, so the reason we went 2 inches because we did a 1/2 inch recess here, and then still leaves us 1.5 inches to mount pocket screws in. Okay, so we'll still be able to mount the frames. Now this piece right here, if you do use it, say if you went with a 2-piece glass, this here would be the thickness of, you're talking 3/4 inches thick. So, and if you got 1/4 inch glass or 1/4 inch plexiglass, then this is going to be a 1/2 inch. If you got wider, this will be less. Whatever, this right here is put in based on the glass that you're going to use. But you'll see the rabbets that you put in all the way around, so your glass will sit down flush into the door. Okay, so when you look, let's see if we can get a better view. There we go. So that's the basic of that, but let's see if we can get inside. I don't know if it's going to let me get the points. There we go. 7.3 inches is the cross, and there again we did the inside so the ingrain don't show, and because it's a little stronger this way, if you put this right here going all the way out to this section here, then this will kind of creel a little bit over time. So but anyway, you make 2 doors about like that. Take your measurements of your finished cabinet to make sure. Don't just go by these measurements, because you always got to check, because if something happens inside that you maybe are off 1/4 of an inch, or maybe a 1/2 inch, or maybe it's not totally square, then that's going to affect everything you put on afterwards. So each step, check your measurements with the previous process to make sure that you're not building something too big or too small for what you just built. So okay, let's go ahead and go to the holders. Now this right here is really an iffy thing. your spacing. Everybody's looking for a standard. If you go with a standard, I wouldn't want your cabinet, okay? Because I don't want a standard holders for my guns, because I got specific guns I want to put in them. So your spacing, you're going to have to go with whoever your client is or whatever guns you have. If you're building this for somebody else or building it for yourself, you're going to have to base on what guns you have, okay? For example, let's say if you got a lot of military straight bolts, okay? And then you've got some nice guns. Well, obviously you don't want that straight bolt to have enough room to bump into that $1,000 bolt action that you have to the side, okay? So base your spaces out a little differently, only according to what you need, not what somebody else tells you, okay? So, and here's what I did. Here's how we figured up his, because of the guns he had. And he did have military guns, and he had a lot of straight bolts, as well as bolt actions and lever actions and pumps, shotguns, etc. So what we've done is go ahead and see if we can get us a measurement here to here. That didn't work out very well, did it? I got that chamfered edge on it. It's hard to make. This still ain't coming out. I'm coming out with this top only. Let me see if I can get a different view on it. But anyway, we'll go ahead and do this. How's this? We'll do that point and that point. 1.5 inches is what we've done in between. Each one of these is going to be 1.5 inches. Okay? And now that's just what we've done. Don't necessarily mean that's what you've done, like I said. Now we went back 4 inches, then we had the radius. Okay, 4.5 inches. I didn't exactly hit my point there. So I did this because we have, or wanted, spaced behind here, each gun, to put ammo, maybe a box of ammo for that particular gun behind it. And it's also to kick this out further so you can have a scoped rifles. Okay, now some of these scopes are pretty big, especially if you take like a 50 mil, and I am definitely having a hard time trying to get the tip of this so I can get a measurement for you. Okay, 9 3/4 inches width-wise, and the length will be whatever it is of the inside of your cabinet. So make yours custom. And now the distance between here and here. Okay, so when you do this, let's go over here and see if we can get one. Okay, it's 2 inches. Now we went 2 inches just to give us that little space. Most guns are not 2 inches wide. Okay, the butts are not 2 inches wide. But that's the way we did, because they wanted more room for the individual who was putting his guns in here. He did have some older guns. And he had some with some wider butts on them. I don't know. But that's how we built this. Now, when we did this, we took and marked off where we wanted right here, and we took a hole saw and cut the radius, okay, all the way across, and then we took and ran a jigsaw, or I think it was no, it was bandsaw, I'm sorry. We used the bandsaw on this. You can use anything you want. You can even do this by hand if you can hold it that steady. And then we cut it out to the hole. Then after all this was cut out, we took a 45-degree cutter with a guide on it, okay, and we went through and chamfered all the edges all the way around. Now the actual ones are a little more rounded than what this is, but I can't hardly draw that well, so I didn't do it. Now if you look at your top part to where to put the guns at, okay, let's see here, right there, you'll notice it lines up. Let me see if I can get, there we go. It lines up directly center of the ones for the bottom. Now on this right here, we used the 1.5 inches and then split the board down, and then we ran a chamfer edge on it, okay. And this here's a little wider too. Let's see here if I can find something out here out of the way. Yeah, see, it's over 1.75 inches. So, and that's a little further out, but that keeps your scopes away from the back wall. Really does. Works pretty good. I think you'll like that when you start making them. When you start making your cabinets, make them deeper than what you get at Walmart. I mean, God knows we see enough of that. But that's how we did our holders for our guns. So when we look at that, that's, you know, like I said, there is no standard, and I've been asked 100 times for a standard width for these, and there is none. So if you go by their standard width, you're gonna make something that everybody else will want, and you're a woodworker or wanting to be a woodworker, and woodworkers don't do that crap. I'm sorry. We build stuff the fit. We build things the way it's supposed to be built, not the way Walmart decides we're gonna have them. Okay, now let's go on to the assembly part. Now here we've got, this is basically your cabinet almost put together, except for here's some few drawers here. I got a door already put on, the face frame's already put on, the top part's all completely done. So now we got our doors and drawers here in the front and the face. So let's go ahead and let's close this out and pick a door, and let's bring him up where you can see what we're doing. Okay, now this drawer is just a box to fit in here. Okay, so take your final measurement. We're not going to go over what size to make these, because I guarantee you yours will not have the exact same measurements. Okay, even if you try to do exactly what we did, it's going to be a little different, and you want these as close as you can to go in between here. And the way you mount them, that's going to be up to you. There's 100 different ways. You can use side rails that goes here like you would a cabinet drawer, or they've got ones that mount to the top, go from middle to middle, and which I wouldn't advise that. That's really not very good. But anyway, that's basically what we have there. So let's go ahead and drop that drawer back down, and maybe let's see about just go ahead and stick them in the hole. Let's get rid of them. Now, you don't have to build these drawers the way we built them, okay? You can build them any distance or any height you want, okay? You notice that there's the next size. So we got on the bottom when ours is larger than the middle. You just divide it up however you think. You might not even want drawers. Some people don't have no use for them. Some people's stuff's kind of big and they just feel that it's just not what they want to fool with. So let's go ahead and see if we can get these put in, and then we'll talk about the drawer faces. I mean. Okay, now our drawer faces right here. Let's go ahead and pull that one out separately. Now let's put them back here where we can see it. Okay, now we'll zoom in on him. Now what we've done is we made our boxes, and then we made our faces. Okay, and the face is just a plain piece of wood, whatever you want to use. If you're using pine, or if you're using oak, or whatever it is. And it was cut to fit between here and here halfway. Okay, now that's called the overlay, and depends on how much of this you want to overhang onto the face frame. The standard is like half an inch. Okay, full overlay is 1.5 inches. That means there is no gap. So when these get put together, you won't see no gaps between the doors and drawers. They pretty much meet each other, and that would be considered a full overlay. So however you decide you want to do that will be good. Okay, it does not matter. It just really depends upon how much effort and work you want to put in on it. Okay, and let's go ahead and stick a couple of these back in their hole. That way they're out of our way. Now I'm just kind of throwing these in. I'm not going to get too picky here. Let's drop him in a little more. I do want it a little better. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this bottom one stuck in. So how do you think this is working out so far? Do y'all like the way these plans are? If you do, man, just send me a comment. Let me know. I don't know if it's going to be worth doing another one like this. I think this will help you out quite a bit. Now, we're here doing these doors now. Now, I used a raised panel. Okay, now, obviously, in this tutorial, we're not going to get into our making these raised panels, because that's the whole thing in itself. So what I've done here is I've made my doors to fit. I left a little bit on the bottom, a little bit on the top here. Okay, and actually this goes over a little more to meet this. Let's see if we can get it over there so it looks halfway decent anyway. That would be the y-axis. Oops, Am I on the right one? Nope, I'm on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and move him over just a hair. Whoops, that's bigger hair. Yeah, I tell you what, let's just not fool with it. Anyway, so that's what you're looking at on your door here. The main thing is figuring out where you're going to put your hinges, okay? And this decides how you're going to do your door. If you put your hinges on the outside, obviously you're going to have more of an exposed area on your face frame. If you're using hinges on the inside, enclosed hinges, you're going to have to, then you can go with a full overlay. So anyway, let's see here if I can get you a shot of this. Let's pull it down here, and we'll move him around just a hair. Kind of looks ugly when you move it around like that, unless you hit their slot. Tops. Got everything evened up, so you get the top is really smaller than the bottom, and that gives you more room. And I kind of like it like that, but you may not. See, it sits back a little bit. Now this is really a big gun cabinet, so you all you know, change it around to meet your needs. Now tell me what you think of this, and if you need any help, just send us an email. You know, if we can help you, we can. We'll send you a reply back as soon as we can. I'm not on the internet all the time. We do work, so let me know how you do building this, and if you build one, send us a picture. I'd like to see what you've done. Maybe we'll post a customer or viewers gallery or something. I don't know, but if you like it, like and subscribe. Give us an email. Tell us what we can do to improve. Our next one, we actually got videos of us actually making it, so we'll put that in with these, as well as prints and plans, and see if we can help you build stuff along the way. Just let me know how it goes, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.